Good day. My name is Aimee Isabella Crocker Ash Gillig Garad Mishnikoff Galitzine, and I am one of the eternal residents here at Sacramento's historic city cemetery. And I lie here with my beloved, my mother, father, and much of my family. Now, this is February, and I understand today's society has taken what was once a single day of celebration of love, St. Valentine's Day, and extended it to an entire month. Well, that is as it should be. For I think the heart is never as happy and healthy as when it first finds love. Well, and I should know something about that, having been married 5 times, and well, I've been in love more times than there are days in the month. Shall we talk about those? Well, I think my first love, like most little girls, was my father, Judge Edwin Bryant Crocker. He joined in the middle of the 1600s with a group of men, Huntington, Hopkins, Stanford, and his brother, Uncle Charles Crocker, to form what was become known as the Big Four. And together they brought the Transcontinental Railroad to California. And in so doing, they amassed a great deal of money. And they were philanthropists. Father and my mother, Margaret, donated much of the land for this very cemetery and amassed what was to become known as the Crocker Art Museum. It was into that wealth that I was born in 1864. And I must say I was a little bit indulged. What my own mother called me a hellcat. I spent a great deal of time down at the docks on the Sacramento River, talking with the sailors and the sea captains, and they would tell me stories of far-off lands. Perhaps that's when I developed my love of adventure. And oh, what adventures I've had. See, in my day, women didn't wear trousers, they didn't travel alone, they didn't smoke, well, they certainly didn't have tattoos, and they did not marry 5 times. Well, I've done all of that and more. Married 5 times, yes, but only once in each of 5 decades of my life, and somehow always to men in their 20s. Well, I never felt the need to be married. I think I simply loved being in love. I think possibly we should let the women of the let the Mrs. Grundys of the world wag their tongues. And I was always in the society papers with some scandal or another. Well, when I was 18, I had just returned from finishing school in Europe. I decided I was quite mature and ready to wed. But whom? I had 2 suitors, both equally accomplished and equally attractive, and Porter Ashe and Harry Gillig. Who was I to marry? Well, someone suggested a game of poker dice, and the winner of that getting the grand prize. That was me. Well, the game was played, and some say that I had a hand in manipulating the outcome. Well, the game chose their winner, and we eloped that very night, and I became Mrs. Porter Ashe. From that marriage came my daughter Gladys, and I'm afraid a very nasty, public, and scandalous divorce. I was afraid perhaps I'd chosen the wrong contestant in the poker game, and instead decided to marry the second contestant, Harry Gillig. That marriage, I'm afraid, didn't last quite as long as the first. Well, I decided perhaps the institution of marriage was not for me, until I met Mr. Jackson Garrard. Young man, handsome, talented, who was truly love. Jackson and I soon married and established a home on Long Island in New York, and it was our Shangri-La. We threw extravagant parties and entertained the likes of the Barrymores, the Gettys, Oscar Hammerstein, Diamond Jim Brady, well, my good friend Oscar Wilde, and even Enrico Caruso sang at one of our parties. Life was fun and such a delight and adventure. But I'm afraid early in 1910, Jackson contracted tonsillitis, and he succumbed to the illness. I was devastated, and I thought perhaps I would never love again. I remained devoted to him. But that didn't prevent me from marrying 2 more times. No. I I was nearing 50 and life was fun and full of adventure. Well, the Great War had just ended. It seems that that war had caused many of the aristocracy of Europe to have lost their family fortunes, and they looked to wealthy American women who simply wanted a title of royalty. Well, I had a bit of spare change. Why not go for it? First, I chose Alexander Mishnikov. He was not as much of a prince as he was a fraud. Divorce. I was much more careful on the next venture. Myroslav Galitzine was indeed a Russian prince. We married, and I became a princess. I remained devoted to Jackson and retained his name. See, this last two were simply known in society pages as Aimee Crocker's husbands. Now I remain entombed here with my love, mother, father, and many of the others. And I am entombed as Aimee Crocker Garrard. Those words and this monument are a testament to me having loved and having been loved. I thank you all for visiting. I wish you well, but most of all, I wish you love.